Coming up on today's show, we have a couple of trip previews and we discuss the latest news coming out of Disney. That's coming up today on Traveling with the Mouse. Welcome, everyone, to Traveling with the Mouse. This is episode 405. I am your host today. I am Jason, and we are here to discuss all things Disney. I'm joined, as always, by my colleagues. We have Adam.
What's up, everybody? Cruising down the 405.
That's right. We're number 405.
Yeah.
And we have John.
Someday we'll find it. The rainbow connection. The lovers, the dreamers, and me.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Is that John or Kermit?
Well, John is, he's a little busy at the moment, so I'm filling in until he gets back. Oh, here he is.
And we're back. And he's back. Bye, Kermit.
Hi ho.
Not bad. Not bad. Adam, how's that do for a voice actor? I know you're very particular about getting the right people.
I mean, it sounds kind of like the new Kermit, the one that took over recently.
Ooh, that's a dig, actually. Because I thought you didn't like the new Kermit.
Yeah, he's not. But anyway.
Let's see. I could do Kermit and I do Paul Frees, right? That's my two voices. I don't know of another one. I might have some more I can come up with.
Impressions by John.
Yeah. Maybe somebody will hear it and say, hey, he needs to voice Kermit.
Impressions to John.
Impressions to John. So we've got 2 trips. Well, actually, technically 3 trips coming up in the next month.
Mm-hmm.
And then
we sure do.
Some sooner rather than later.
Isn't your brother James going sometime soon?
He's actually going the weekend. They'll actually be leaving to come home the day we're coming in.
Oh, wow. Ships in the night.
He kind of just decided that one last minute because they had a little bit extra money and they actually upgraded their tickets to an annual pass for this year.
Yeah. He told me he got the AP, yeah.
Yeah. So basically part of that has to do with the fact that their daughter wanted Taylor Swift tickets and she didn't trust her dad to get them in time, so she bought some of her own for $200 and turned around and sold them for $1,400.
Wow, that's thrifty.
That's $1,200 right there. So
dang, that's paid for that annual pass. Nice.
Yeah, but yeah,
cool. So he's got a trip. You've got a trip. Jason's got a trip. Like right now, as you're listening to this,
we're all tripping.
Yep. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
We're tripping.
This is another one of those last second, Jason trips.
Yeah. So tell us what you're doing, because this is something I don't think any of us have done yet at Disney. So it's another first.
It's another first. Nobody's ever wanted to do this with me. So I have an opportunity to head down by myself and do this. Everybody thinks I'm going to be very warm or crazy, but I think the temperature is going to be wonderful. I am going to tent camp at Fort Wilderness for Memorial Day. So
yeah.
I'll get my own little campsite. I have my tent packed. I've got my air mattress and I've got my cooler. I just got to load it up tomorrow. Going to head down there and grill a little bit. Maybe take that boat on over to Magic Kingdom.
Nice. So are you going to try to do Hoop-de-Doo or is it just not available?
Hoop-de-Doo is not available, unfortunately.
I was just curious.
You going to get a golf cart?
I will not get a golf cart. I don't think I'll be there long enough. However, if Hoop-de-Doo becomes available, I will probably be tempted to take Hoop-de-Doo.
Yeah.
So I don't quite understand why they think that that's such a crazy idea, because I was just looking at the forecast and I mean,
yeah, low 80s, low to mid 80s, lows in the 60s. So anyway, okay. So you're going camping in Disney, which we've never done before. None of us.
Correct.
And I think you've got some other things going on. Like you have some friends coming in that you're going to kind of tour around.
There's some people I work with who didn't know I was going, but they were like at work and they said, hey, we're going to go down next weekend. It's apparently their first anniversary. and they said, I haven't been to Disney World in 10 plus years. They apparently went to Disneyland last year. They do like Disney. And they said, can I get some tips and tricks? I'm like, okay, I'll give you some tips and tricks. Also, I'll be there if you would like some guidance. Right. Although I don't plan to hang out with them the whole time. They are on their anniversary trip. And
sure.
I also don't want to just be tour guide the whole time. So I do hope to help them get on things like, Guardians and Tron and things like that. Right. But tomorrow is going to be a real interesting one because I'm driving down. I'm not going to be arriving till the afternoon, and I'm going to enlist your help. We'll see if this works out to see if we can possibly time the Tron virtual queue to be something that I can actually use.
Right.
A nighttime Tron would be wonderful.
I wonder, have we heard recently, is Tron going in seconds, or is it like not, because it's not as crowded? Is it taking a little longer to sell out?
It still goes pretty fast last I looked.
I'm sure it does. So you still got to be quick.
I'll probably buy the individual lightning lane anyways, just to have it.
Right. Now, those have been lasting everything's been lasting a long time, truthfully, the individual lightning lanes. So...
And I'm going to probably do Genie Plus and stack some Genie Plus. But the thing that I'm going to be irritated is I plan to do some Magic Kingdom, and it just still sucks that you can't re-ride on Genie Plus. That's the big difference from Fast Pass Plus.
Yeah.
You can't re-ride.
Gosh, yeah. If you could pull it, you could ride it in Fast Pass Plus. I heard what I said. Anyway.
So did I.
You said what you said.
Anywho. But yeah, that sounds like fun. So any other dining that you're thinking you were looking at?
I'm trying to maybe eat lunch at the Plaza when I'm at Magic Kingdom because I kind of really liked the Plaza.
It's a cool location.
I really think Skipper Canteen is the best place to eat, but the Plaza is probably maybe my second on the list.
The only downside to the Plaza is there's no bathrooms in the Plaza. You have to go outside to get to them. But
we know all about your bathroom thing, right?
Yes.
Well, I've explained why, right? Of course, my 5-year-old I'm always like waiting for
his apparently microscopic bladder.
The other day I called Adam. He had to tell me that he had to go because he had to take his son to a Publix bathroom, and he was telling me it was a really great bathroom.
I did.
And, it's a really, it's a good companion bathroom. I mean, this doesn't just go to Disney. He knows where.
Yeah.
He knows where all the best bathrooms are.
Everywhere.
We've had too many close calls and not so close calls to. It's on. Yeah, I have to.
Anywhere he goes, it's like, okay, we got to find out where the bathroom is.
Yeah, I'm always vigilant. It's not for me, but and that's the other thing.
But you came to appreciate them through your son,
right? Like I don't want to be standing around in a crappy bathroom. Pardon the pun. When I got to be taking him all the time, so I want to be in a nice bathroom. And
I'm probably going to just drive over to Coronado and use the Three Bridges bathroom since,
I'm telling you, that is the best bathroom on property.
Since you've heard so much about it, you have to try it now.
Yeah. So far, that is my number one bathroom on property. Three Bridges companion bathroom.
If we ever do a countdown of bathrooms, you're going to have to do that one solo because I don't know.
Right. It's practically the size of some hotel rooms, that bathroom, so love it.
When you got to go, you got to go.
Yeah, and you better go nice. I mean, that's how I got to
go nice.
Go nice. Anyway, so...
Okay.
So I don't know. It's going to be, I don't know if there's going to be much else that's new. I'm also going to try Wilderness Lodge. What's the name of the restaurant there? I'm going to eat there.
Which one? The Whispering Canyon or Artist Point or
Whispering Canyon?
Whispering Canyon.
So you're going to have to try Geyser Point if you can get over there because...
Yeah, we've heard such good things about it, right?
Yes.
That's the one that's out by the pool, right?
Told us. Yeah.
If I'm going
to
just...
the geyser.
Keep it themed well. I should just spend all day in Frontierland.
Yes. Marathoning Country Bear Jamboree.
And Big Thunder.
And then getting orders from Pecos Bills.
I can ride the train around. The train's allowed.
Yeah. You could You could ride the riverboat, even though it's technically Liberty Square, but you get to see a lot of frontier land.
Yeah.
Go to the rafts, take them over to the island.
Yep. And then go back to my campsite.
Yeah.
Rustle me
Do
up
it.
some game. And do you think an alligator is going to hop in my tent with me?
I doubt it. They're not that close to the water, right? You should be okay.
I would say I've never heard of any in the wilderness, but even though it's a man-made wilderness,
I mean, there's water everywhere, so you never know.
There's
water everywhere.
Yeah, but not a drop to drink.
Yeah, and so there's also, I'm contemplating another trip later in the summer. My son is insistent that he wants to go to Disneyland this summer. So I am trying to find a time to go. Although I started to price it out and I looked at all of the hotels available and I'm like, dear God, what they, like I expected Grand Californian to cost what it did, but whatever it's called, Paradise Pier.
Yeah, like 500 a night.
There's no cheap hotels if you're going to stay Disney.
But Paradise Pier is like completely gutted right now, being refurbished. Half the stuff's closed. Like I don't see how they can get away charging $480 for that thing.
Well,
I would just good neighbor it. That's
what I was about to say. There's tons of hotels around there that are close when it comes to
and you can book them
Disneyland.
as a hotel package right through the Disney website too.
Mm-hmm.
You do a whole package. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
right. We're going out to California in July, but I looked at how much to go to Disneyland for a day, and I was like, yeah, forget it. I thought about it, still thinking about it, but
the time that I went, I mean, I stayed close, but not super close. I actually stayed in the Ayers Orange, which was almost at the time right across from the Anaheim Pond and the Angel Stadium's right there.
yeah, it's on par.
It was like it was in a good area because it was just far enough away that it's not congested, but it wasn't so far away that you couldn't get there in a timely manner. You know what I mean? So,
well, the one thing I noticed when I was trying to price it out was that you can pre-order Genie Plus when you book a Disneyland package. Still, that is still an option. So I could have added that on to the ticket of the package, which
that's not bad.
Yeah, I think it was charging me $25 a day for the Genie Plus, which is probably a deal, especially at Disney World. When by the end of the year, it's going to be like $50 or $60. So
possibly that was per person or just total.
$125 add-on per person.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Because it was 5-day ticket.
Got it.
But 5 days may be a long time at Disney. If I was to go down there, I'd also probably hit up Universal Studios Hollywood just to see Mario World.
Yeah, the Nintendo land that's here. Our world.
So I don't know. There was some interesting stuff going on this week too. I don't know if you guys saw the concept art for Pixar Place. Did y'all see that? Since we're talking about Disneyland, the Pixar Place Hotel, where they're going to redo Paradise Pier Hotel at Pixar Place.
I haven't seen the concept art, but
yeah, might want to check it out. It looks interesting. It's mixed reviews, is what I've seen. Maybe it's good, but maybe not. I don't know.
I'm looking for it, but I didn't see it.
Are they going along the same vein as the who has the hotel abroad? Is it in Tokyo? Somebody has it in another country.
I know which one you're talking about. Yeah, the Toy Story Hotel or whatever.
I forgot which country has it though.
But I think one of the things that people are most upset about is they're putting the eatery to be the Great Maple, right?
The what?
Which is a chain restaurant. Is going to be the restaurant in the hotel.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I'm looking at it now.
It has nothing to do with Pixar. That's the other thing, right?
Yeah.
No theme. I guess from a business perspective, it probably, Disney doesn't have their own money into it and into the restaurant side of it, although that's not a huge expense for them, I wouldn't think.
Yeah, that's a weird call to have this, especially when you just built like the Woody's Roundup Rodeo.
Is that a DeMauro call? Or is he just over in Florida?
No.
He's I thought he was over everything, right? Anything that's parks related is supposed to be his department, is it not? Or am I wrong?
Yes, it is, yeah. Yeah, I can't say the concept art wows me, to be honest. It looks like a standard hotel kind of thing, but a few pictures of Pixar characters. The lamp light thing looks interesting, but yeah, I don't know. With the Pixar ball.
You know what else I'm going to miss in my trip just by a little bit?
Pass holder days.
Pass holder magnet, yeah.
You're going to miss Figment.
Well, while supplies last, they'll be there through the end of June. So hopefully we'll catch them later in June.
Hope so, because I want my Figment magnet.
Yeah. So you're leaving because the 31st is Wednesday. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, too bad. But maybe they'll still have plenty available when we get there. Speaking of, do we want to talk about some of this passholder, VIPassholder days for June, basically?
Yeah, that would be fun. They're all of a sudden caring about us. What's that all about?
Right. I guess because attendance is low this summer so far. So they're like, well, isn't that kind of what Iger did pre-COVID? I mean, that was an Iger thing. Was anytime crowds got low, they were like, let's do something for the pass holders.
Yep,
that
bring
how it
them
went?
in.
And it works usually.
I thought it was hotel discounts, which they already have anyway.
Well, they did, but they have a pass holder discount for that. That's like 30% right now. Pretty good.
They're having trouble filling the hotels because the hotels are already so overpriced. Even when you discount them, it's not that great.
Right.
I mean,
well, true. I mean, there was some decent prices I saw. Also, the merch discount is going to go up to 30%, which they do occasionally do, but for the whole month of June, that's pretty cool.
That's a pretty significant savings.
Yeah. And it says
merch
that the dining discount is going to go up to 20% at select locations. Again, it didn't tell me which ones. I haven't seen anything else on
the
that
ones
yet.
that need the bookings.
Right. That's what I'm wondering. Like, is this going to be Tony's? Like,
if they gave you a 40% discount at Tony's, would you take it?
No, I would not go back there. Would you go back there, Jason?
Even for 40%.
Yeah, I can.
He's like,
I can go buy Chef Boyardee and dump it on a plate, and it'd be just as appetizing.
What percentage? Would you go? 100? This has got to be.
I mean, if it was free, I guess I would go. Sure. I mean, maybe.
I mean, for a big discount, I'd give it one more shot.
I guess. What was that ravioli thing we ate that was
It was terrible. Whatever it was, the fried mozzarella thing,
and it's just like a jar of Prego piled on top. It's like, all right.
Was it last week when we talked about the Star Cruiser? Wasn't it?
Yeah, we did
when it closed.
But they didn't. There's some new info about it, right?
Yeah. I was looking at this too, but it says that it would be up to $300 million of a tax write-off,
which means it's going to stand empty for many years.
That's what it appears. I know that's what Braden. I saw somebody post something about what he said about how that's how they get the tax write-off. Is it basically they have to leave the building abandoned.
Right. I mean, it makes sense. So you wouldn't just write it off and then just keep using it.
Right.
Yeah, we're writing this thing off, but yeah, we're still selling it.
I think in order for them to use it as a write-off, they have to do that, though, is my understanding.
Right.
They have to actually just... Now, I think they might use the tech on the inside of it in some way, shape, or form. I mean, if they can get it out, I don't know what they can do with that, but... Yeah.
Does this mean cue the urban explorer YouTubers that will break in there and like record videos in there?
How are they going to break in? That place was like all guarded off.
It was a fortress.
Well, a lot of people say it looks like a detention center or from the outside.
Well, DeSantis did say he could build a prison there, so he's already got a head start.
It's already built.
He's got a head start with a Star Cruiser.
He's just got to convert it into cells.
Did you see though that Iger, they pitched the idea of transforming it to Mandalorian or making it a day guest tour, and instead Iger said nope, write it off, shut it down.
Well, because he's thinking in this particular instance, he's thinking cutting their losses, basically.
Yeah. Well,
That's what
for
he's
Between
thinking to
one,
that
do at
and the
this point.
barges, they're going to be writing a lot off.
Yeah.
but for one, didn't he say he's trying to save like 5.5 billion or something like that in expenses over the next whatever, blah blah blah. So
It's a short term,
yeah,
making sure they don't lose a lot in the short term. Let's put it that way.
right.
Um,
I think it's a good choice on his part. I mean, he makes tough decisions. In his book, he talked a lot about how he'll make a decision and stick with it kind of person. So,
but in the announcements of it being closed, I know we talked about that, but in this time period, in this last week, the very last Star Cruiser has sold out. The very
Big
last
shock.
one.
Of course.
Yeah. Because you give somebody this much notice that it's going to be over there, and of course they're going to want to be on the last one.
Yes. Everyone's going to want to do the last
And they're
one.
all going to try to take the stuff with them.
And how many of them are social
Probably.
media influencers or vloggers?
All of them.
Well, if I remember correctly,
It'll be just as many as when they first did the previews.
it's people who already had it booked because
Some.
as of recording of this, you can't.
Okay.
Nobody, general public, can't book again until.
I thought it was
Tomorrow.
yesterday.
That would
I
make
thought
sense.
it was the 26th. But I
Well,
could
wait a
be wrong.
minute. How could it be why would they all move them to the last one, or did they give them the option?
They gave them the option.
Yeah, if you had it booked in the future, you could reschedule to any day, but they would
For
close it
50%
off.
off. And they were giving them 50% off. Their
So,
rebook.
wait a minute. You mean to tell me there were people that actually had it booked in the future?
A few, enough to sell that one out. Enough to sell the last one out because it was. Yeah,
because it looked wide open.
right.
Last time I saw it.
It was, but
Yeah.
I mean, it sold out way before the general public could book it. So
Well, yeah. Well, I guess when you only have 100 cabins or whatever it is, if you had even if you had like 10 booked on each future one, it
Right.
wouldn't take long to get up to 100, would it?
yeah, that's how you know how bad it was doing.
Yeah.
Oh, and I did want to, since we're talking about Star Cruiser, I was listening back at our conversation last week, and I was like, one thing we didn't mention when we're talking about how it failed, essentially. And I was listening to some of the Star Wars people talk about it, like people who have Star Wars YouTube channels and whatnot. And their biggest thing was it's based on the sequel trilogy, essentially, the storyline. Like, that's not what most Star Wars fans wanted to see.
Duh.
Right, because Disney did it. But it's just like if you had based it on, like, original trilogy or prequels even, most people would have really rather done that.
You would think for a company that has just made this point about IP and using IP, why they would want to take a story that everybody already knows and loves, and when just because they're trying to take it further, think that they have to shove that down everyone's throat.
Yeah.
That
sounds more like a Chapek thing, but anyway.
Okay.
We will make you like these horrible movies we made.
I would like to point out that they're continuing with IP and Disney Plus
Yes.
driving the parks.
But if you notice...
So no lessons have been learned yet.
Yeah, not yet, but maybe there's a chance. But yeah, I mean, I think that is a good point, though, that that's probably why this failed, is if they had based it on, like, original Star Wars somehow, it would have done better.
Maybe. It would have done better. It's still a little pricey for what it is.
Well, yeah. Not saying the price wasn't the major issue, it was, but it was also the fact that, yeah, most diehard Star Wars fans are not big fans of the sequel trilogy, and you're going to make everything you do based on those movies.
You could have made a hotel that looked like the Death Star on the inside, and it would have done much better.
Yeah, totally.
Even the Death Star. I mean, you know what I mean?
Then it really would have been in prison, I guess, if you wanted to be like you'd be a fictional prisoner, pretend prisoner.
I still, when this came out, I was like, it's something I could potentially see doing like one day. It was like blue sky for me, so to speak. But obviously it didn't last long enough for that to matter. So
Yeah. But Galaxy's Edge, as we've said, dropped the timeline, basically, by including Mando. So maybe they'll get the hint and do more of that.
yeah.
Or not.
Well, what's trending on Disney Plus? I mean,
Yeah.
what that's where we're going next, right?
The Bad Batch, can you put that in there? I don't know. Is that doing well?
I don't know.
Anyway, enough Star Wars.
I was thinking about this the other day though, since you mentioned Star Wars, and I was gonna, how the live action versions of the Disney classics have been received, and people just can't seem to understand why in some cases. I mean, you gotta think of it this way. I was thinking of this. What if you took the original Star Wars trilogy and just said, hey, we're going to redo these, only we're going to make them animated, and we're going to mess with the story? How do you think that would go over? That's exactly what they're doing with the animated films that people came to know and love and cherished in the what we called the Renaissance era, and they're making them live action. They're doing the exact same thing, and why are they surprised that it's a problem for a lot of the fans? Because they like the originals. That's why. Why are you surprised when you try to do this and undo it and just do it? Like I say, if you took something like Star Wars and did the opposite,
right,
it would not do as well, right?
Well, I mean, most of the live action movies have done pretty well.
I can think of two
except
that
for...
I like. Well, I say that I'm using my own opinion. There's thinking of two that I like.
Yeah, but I think Pinocchio was terrible from what everybody said, but Beauty and the Beast did well. Aladdin did pretty well.
That's the two that I actually like, is Beauty and the Beast and Aladdin. That's the only two that I like.
I mean, a lot of early reviews for The Little Mermaid are pretty good. So we'll see. It comes out, this weekend?
Yeah, I've heard it's great so far.
The ticket sales suggest that people aren't going to go see it, though. The pre-ticket sales, anyway.
I thought it was...
Oh, I want to see it.
120 million, I thought. Which isn't bad, right?
I saw a story that said that it was not selling as well as they had hoped at pre-sales, but...
Well, we'll see how it goes, but...
Now, as I mentioned in our chat, the Dial of Destiny, there's actually hope for it because the critics hate it, so there's hope that it's going to be good. That it'll actually be a good movie, because apparently the critics and the fans are totally on opposite ends of the spectrum these days.
Yeah. I mean, I have high hopes for that one. I mean, it is John Williams' last score
he's ever going to do.
Composer. Yeah, that's what they say.
Well, how old is he now?
91?
Is he that old?
Yeah.
Wow.
He's 91. So, I hope this, I can't wait to see, just because I'm going to see it, of course, whether it's good or not. I'm still going to go see it. So.
Speaking of John Williams, you had a nice experience with John Williams, right? Or at least his music.
Yeah, the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra did 14 of his pieces, I guess you'd call it.
Yeah.
Very cool to hear it played live. Yeah, that was fun. They ended with Indiana Jones, so... And he did mention that it was the last score, that he did, so...
It was?
Yeah. The guy who was the conductor knows John Williams and said he saw him like 2 weeks ago or whatever. Okay. And he was talking about that, yeah. Anyway, he was just talking about it. It's his last score that he ever will do. He retired officially.
After the Dial of Destiny.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, at 90, 91.
The Fabelmans, right? Was that the name of that movie? The one that Spielberg did? That was his last one with Spielberg directing, and then this is his last one ever.
Is Spielberg still directing films?
Yes.
Of course.
He got nominated for that Best Director again. Anyway. Oh, and that was another thing. John Williams and Walt Disney are tied for most Oscar nominations, I think. 50, something like that. 50, 49, 50, I forgot. But I think they were tied for the most nominations.
So Walt Disney himself?
Yes. As producer or whatever. He's named, in the whatever it was. But yeah. Walt Disney had the most, and now he's tied with John Williams.
Let's see. Back in the day, What was it that won? Well, I remember Mary Poppins won a lot of Academy Awards.
Yeah, it did not win Best Picture, though.
No. But didn't it win like 6?
Yeah, it won a lot.
Remember it did. I don't know what the most successful one was. So who's gonna make the memorable film scores now that John Williams is retiring?
Gosh, I don't know. Hans Zimmer. I don't know who's the best.
I was gonna say he was one that I remember. Klaus Baudelt.
Yeah, from the Pirates, the first Pirates. But it was really Hans Zimmer after that, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, we're rambling. Oh, one other thing I did want to mention about the pass holder thing. I know we're jumping all over the place, but what do you think of this?
Time jumps.
Right. What this special pass holder lounge they're talking about, which is basically at the land pavilion at Sunshine Seasons, I guess.
How is that a lounge?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Where would it be?
Maybe it's just that corner over there where the queue for the land is, I'm guessing. I have no idea.
I mean, I'm just going to go to my DVC lounge. I don't know about y'all.
Well, yeah, you can hang out there, but...
You have your own personal DVC lounge?
Yeah. It's the Jason Lounge. They gave me my own one.
Nice.
You got one named after you?
Yeah, I get to go to that room above Test Track and hang out.
Oh, nice. They have a soda machine there.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
So he's got his own personal one. He found, what is it? They have an upstairs thing in the Wonders of Life. That's how he did it. He went up there. He snuck in. That's how he got his own personal.
God, when you think about it, Epcot has tons of these spots you could put lounges in that nobody visits anymore. But there's special treats for pass holders too at Sunshine Seasons, such as a spark of grape shake, grape, guava, passion fruit, orange, and lime. Does that sound amazing? And a raspberry lemonade tart just for pass holders, I guess. I'm curious what this lounge is, but it's probably going to be crowded.
It could very much so be.
Yeah.
Jason, didn't you not too long ago when I was talking about Disney Springs or something, didn't you mention the Polite Pig? You've been there? I mean, have y'all both been there?
Several times. Polite
that's
Pig's great.
That's one of the best places in Disney Springs, right?
Yes.
That's
I
good.
was thinking so. Our friend Pablo talked about how good it was. You don't have like a reservation or anything. It's just quick service, but you could probably wait in line for quite some time to try and get it.
We haven't, because we're usually the first ones there.
You rope drop it?
Rope drop Polite Pig?
I have rope drop Polite Pig a couple of times.
What's your favorite item?
You get a couple of meats and a bunch of sides, and then a beer. I mean, that's the way to go.
That's the way to go.
Yeah. It is
Okay.
good. And it's right by the Lime Garage, so just park there and walk right in.
Best garage too.
Yeah, I prefer that one.
Preferred garage?
It's not always easy to get into from property, though, when you're like trying to get to it from the, Disney World side, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
We will be right back with Traveling with the Mouse right after this quick break.
Greenlight is a debit card for kids and teens. And now, Greenlight has a credit card for parents. Meet the Family Cash Card. Parents can earn up to 3% cash back on every dollar spent. You can choose to auto-invest your cash back to pay for your kids' college. Use it to apply to your balance. Or send your cash back straight to your wallet. It's basically cash back your way, every day. Get started today at greenlight.com.
And now, back to the show.
So, John, you have a trip. What have you planned so far for yours coming up?
Well, see, we have friends. It's actually an ex-coworker of Lynn's and his family that have, they wanted to meet up. And we did this before with them 2 years ago in October of 21. Stayed at an Airbnb in the area together. And for very reasonable price.
I know. They're so cheap in Orlando.
It's because they're so plentiful.
Right.
They can't.
So many of them.
Yeah. And they're actually good locations most of the time. We actually come across one. I'm trying to go there and so I can give the exact.
Well, don't give us the address.
No, I'm not going to give the address, but I mean, I'm talking about
That's frowned upon.
the area because I'm trying to remember which one it's in. It's the one that's over there, Windsor Hills, that area.
Okay.
So you're familiar if you're familiar with Windsor Hills.
Well, tell us what is it? Western Way side? Is it north, south, east, west?
Well, no, of course it's on the south side of 192.
Mm-hmm.
That's where most all those are, like Champions Gate and all those.
Right. Which I stayed there.
This
once.
is not too terribly far from Mystic Dunes.
Okay.
That resort. So it's in that general area. So it's not far from Disney at all. However, the plan, since we're staying 6 nights, is to try to do Universal and Disney.
Bum,
So-
bum, bum. So Windsor Hills is probably closer to like Animal Kingdom All Stars area, right?
Yeah, it's not too
So
terribly
that's
far from the
how
last
you-
time we stayed somewhere.
How you get in there?
Last one we stayed was close to like the Acadia Estates and all that good stuff.
Right.
This one though,
that's
at least
decent.
those were like
Yeah.
that one was like a townhouse. This one is actually a house.
Yeah.
We have our own driveway, so I don't have to worry about parking, like all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
So
Got
it
a
looks like it's
pool.
really good area. Yeah, got our own private pool. So I mean, that's always fun.
Yeah.
But
It's
yeah,
helpful for the
it's-
kids.
It's roughly, gosh, I think this roughly laid out to be something like $150 a night or something ridiculously low
Yeah.
for a good place too.
Right.
So
So have you planned out are you going to a couple of days at Universal, 4 days at Disney, all 4 parks? What do you?
well, I mean, they have that ticket that they just announced where you don't have to make a reservation, where you did
I know.
4 parks. It's not Harper though, but at least I could go to whichever one I wanted to. I didn't have to decide in advance, you know. Although the way reservations have been, I probably could decide same day, truthfully.
Right.
But I'm not married to it, is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah.
I'm not married to whatever park I chose a reservation. If I decided on the way, it's like, oh, I want to go to the other one, I could. You know, I mean, it's kind of like just having the freedom,
Yeah.
I guess.
Did we talk about that ticket? Because I know we mentioned it, but that's
So
That's a really
basically,
good ticket.
as of May the 23rd,
Yeah.
they announced for all summer, actually, all the way through September the 30th.
September. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You could get a 4-day, 1 park per day ticket for $99 a person.
Per day.
Per day.
Which gets, and you don't have to make a reservation. You just show up, and whatever park you walk into, that's your park for the day.
Mhm.
You can't hop, but of course you can come and go back to that park if you wanted to. But that's a good, that's a
That's a
really
good
good
option.
ticket deal.
Mhm.
That's really good.
It is. It's a good option.
Yeah.
They also had one during this time period, the same announcement, but they started selling it a little bit earlier. There's a Florida resident special ticket that they can get a 3-day with park hopper option or a 4-day with park hopper option. Now, they do still have to make reservations, but it was something like $70 a day for one and $59 for the other. I can't remember what it was. It was something ridiculously low
Wow.
for Florida residents. Yeah.
Well, you can tell they're really digging deep on this summer. It's very light.
Yeah, I think the bookings are low. I think there's probably going to be some lag because of how the 50th, like everybody seemed to want to go during the 50th celebration, and now that it's over, there's probably going to be a time period where it's going to be kind of dragging a little bit
Right.
because people have already gone that
Yeah.
were out. The people from Denver have already come and gone.
And Seattle and Denver.
Yeah. So
God.
there's probably going to be a lull, truthfully.
Right.
And as you said before, summer has somehow become the slow months
Yeah.
because people want to go during the time of year whenever there's things like the Halloween party going on, which all you have to do is go in August, but
Yeah.
or the Christmas time, or all these other little things that are going on, the cooler weather.
Yeah.
The thing that gets me about summer, especially where we live, right? Summer in that area and where we live is really not that much different in the dead of summer. the temperature difference is not that much at all.
I mean, when you're walking around Epcot at 2 p.m., it's rough.
Right. The
But-
difference is you're going to be outside more than you are likely going to be at home. That's the difference.
Right. There's our Animal Kingdom, if you're walking around there.
And yeah, that foliage alone just raises that thing like 10 degrees, I think. It's something
Yeah.
ridiculous. It's
So
not. That's an exaggeration,
yeah.
folks, but not much.
It feels hotter, yeah. It can be rough, but, you know, you'll have the rain showers that pop up every afternoon just about, but
Well, and most of their stuff
not
is
that bad.
indoors.
I mean, it's not that bad. You can kind of do most everything still.
I think we plan on spending the majority of our park time in the afternoon and evening anyway. So
like
that's going to be
mornings in
better.
the pool, such.
Yeah. I think that's probably when it's going to end up being.
That's basically what we did last summer. Was nobody wanted to get up early, so we started stacking lightning lanes, and then showed up around lunchtime to the parks, maybe 1 or 2 in the afternoon at the latest, and then just did all our stacked lightning lanes. And
We probably had a good time doing
Yeah,
so.
I mean, it
you
was
could
fine.
go straight to the lightning lanes.
it wasn't bad.
The one thing we do have is we got a Disney After Dark for Epcot during that week too. We do have that nailed down. Which that's going to be Thursday night of that week. So
Guardians.
I haven't really talked much about dining. I got to looking at it and I was like, there's not just any one like table service place that I'm just like dying to go to. I can't explain it. It's probably going to be a lot of quick service.
I thought you were
this time
wanting to try and get Garden Grill. Is that one?
Well, yeah, I was trying because the breakfast is going to be back that week, and I have seen where it's been open, so I may still try to get that.
Get a breakfast there.
To do a breakfast there because it's been a while. Although I noticed they changed. It seems like the name. They says it's a cinnamon roll. I thought, what did we call them before? We call them sticky buns.
Yeah,
I don't think
they
it's the
used to
same
call it-
thing.
I think it was a sticky bun.
So I don't think it's the same thing. I'd be disappointing if it's not.
There was another restaurant that had a cinnamon roll type thing, or maybe I'm thinking Ohana had the bread, the pineapple bread, didn't they?
Now, the last time that we did Ohana
For breakfast.
a couple of years ago now.
Anyway, maybe I'm thinking of that.
There was one time we did the dinner and one time we did the breakfast. I actually enjoyed the breakfast more that particular time.
Yeah, I mean, I did the dinner last year. It was too much food, and the meat was too tough for the most part.
The dinner is good, don't get me wrong, but it's like you said, it's just way too much.
You need a big group to eat all that food up.
Yeah, as a matter of fact,
It's just too much food for anybody.
in our group, whenever they started taking the food away, Papa was like, "Man, I hope they're gonna like give that to like a homeless person or something." Or I think she was,
Yeah, because it's so much wasted food. I mean, I
was
think
like-
about that at Woody's Roundup Rodeo too. There's just so much food. Like, you just keep bringing it. It's like, come on, people. Too much food.
There's only the thing about it is when I look at the menus, I don't like. You already know this. I don't like the one price, especially for kids. And they have a lot of those now. I mean, it's hard to find a la carte.
Right.
So
because they know that's where they make their money now.
Yeah.
is overcharging the children.
yeah. I mean, it's sad. They really do when it comes to food. I mean, they're making tons of money off of kids.
Yeah. Because they don't eat them.
Yeah. I mean, what is it? $40 to have 2 chicken tenders eaten or something.
Yeah. And like a couple of spoonfuls of mac and cheese.
I mean, it's
$36 mac and cheese.
I'm gonna say that's a horse that I've beaten to death. I think though.
Yeah,
On this podcast, too much. However, the days that we go to Universal, I haven't decided yet, but we may do 1 day 2 park, or we might do 2 days. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on how it goes, I guess I could start with the 1 day 2 park, and if we need another one, I could just upgrade it, to another day. And 2, depending on how busy it is, I've considered just going ahead and spending the money on the Express Pass, just to go ahead and get things in. Right. So.
Okay. Well,
So it's been again.
It's coming together.
I don't feel like I have to. I feel like I have plenty of time on this time. This is kind of how I liked it in the past anyway. I've already got a place to stay. I don't have to be concerned about stuff selling out or whether or not I get a reservation, all that stuff. I mean, it's almost like the good old days in a way.
Right.
The only thing I do have to be
Low
concerned
crowds.
about, of course, is Genie Plus and things like that once you get there. But
Yeah, we still have to buy that same day, don't we? Right now,
Yeah.
anyway.
We do. I got to
And-
buy it soon.
Oh, yeah, you're
Yeah.
almost time.
we're getting there.
How many exact minutes? Go ahead and tell them exactly what time it is, John.
Well,
we're recording
you know,
this. Anyway,
There's no reason to give everything away. Sometimes
Right.
you don't have to tell everything, you know.
So a couple other stories I wanted to throw in really quick too was, what is this mystery construction at the UK pavilion at Epcot? Probably nothing. It's just
Mary
facade
Poppins.
work. Yeah, right. I was going to say, is that the Mary Poppins teacup ride that they were going to do?
It totally is. Yeah, they're doing it after all. You're gonna build it.
And speaking of spinners, did you see this, that Magic Carpets of Aladdin has been down for like a ton of breakdowns lately?
It's down more than Rise. It's crazy.
Yeah. Like, Rise is no longer the most unreliable ride.
Yeah, and I was gonna marathon Magic Carpet this weekend, and I can't. It's my favorite.
It's not quite Frontierlandy, but sure, go for it.
I was going to say, is the Magic Carpets of Aladdin, it's even newer or younger, whatever you want to call it, than Triceratops Spin, and it hasn't had that kind of issue.
Yeah.
Maybe it has something to do with the tilting mechanism or the camels.
What is your favorite spinner, Adam?
I gotta go the classic Dumbo.
Okay,
The
Joe?
classic Dumbo.
I know which one it's not.
I was trying to remember them all now. It's Carpets, Dumbo, the
Triceratops.
Triceratop.
Astro Orbiter,
Oh, yeah, Orbiter.
teacups. If you want to count it as a spinner.
I don't think they're
Carousel.
in the same a flying spinner is or
I'd probably say Astro
Good.
is the best, but the worst experience to get to it. So
Yeah, if I was
I'm
gonna,
gonna
I
go
think
Dumbo.
I think I'm gonna have to go Dumbo as the original. Being still the kind of the favorite. It's
What do you say
definitely as far as like the sitting space is definitely the best on Dumbo compared to the other ones.
Yeah.
Although Carpets is not bad, but
I'd probably pick Astro Orbiter.
it's the best ride experience, but I hate standing in that line, and I hate the elevators, and I hate the loading process, and everything except for the ride.
so which one's the worst? I know which one.
Triceratops Spin.
By far.
Yeah, I was gonna go that. I've always my biggest thing. You already know my biggest hang up is the theming.
Yeah. I don't.
A flying
What
dinosaur
were they thinking? Yeah.
just came
Anyhow.
out of nowhere. So yeah,
Anyhow,
I don't-
any other final thoughts before we wrap up?
No, I'm good. I'm ready to go to Disney World, so I need to get off this and get going.
yeah.
I
I
was
was
gonna
gonna
say
say,
you're ready. You checked out.
he's going first,
Or checked
and
in, I should
then-
say.
Is anybody going next week?
No,
No,
Adam's going with me in a few weeks.
in a few weeks. Okay, so
We'll stay in a treehouse villa.
he's going. So Jason's this weekend, or actually at the time you're hearing this, probably he's already
Yeah.
gone, right?
and then you'll be the after this week.
James,
John will,
well, no,
or
James will be next.
Yeah, and
He
then
would
you'll be the following week.
and then
Is he gonna come on and talk about it? He probably will, right?
I don't know. He probably would after the fact.
Yeah.
He has
Trip
a
report.
tendency. He has a tendency to want to talk about it once he's actually going or having been.
Yeah.
So.
I know they want to do the barbershop.
Right. That was kind of one of the reasons for that, since they upgraded to the annual pass, is they were going to just take a quick trip.
Okay.
Was that a plus and an old one? Or
How is that staying on your forehead?
That's a good question. You like
Oh, there it
the
goes.
Green Lantern or something?
Yeah. Well, GL, Green Lanterns.
Yeah. There you go. He's good with that.
Greenlight, speaking of, that's our sponsor, but where else can we be found out there?
Oh, well, we're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. That's all at TWTM Podcast. We have a Spreadshirt store with our exclusive TWTM merchandise. That is shop.spreadshirt.com/TWTM Podcast. We have a YouTube channel as well. And where can you find that, Adam?
our website, travelingwiththemouse.com. And as you're listening to this, there's a big sale on Spreadshirt. What is it? Anyway, you said it. Go to our website and find the link. There's a big sale.
Spreadshirt.
There you go. .com/TWTN podcast. You can email us podcast@travelingwiththemouse.com. And if you want any help booking your next Disney trip, you can use our travel agent friend. Her info is also on our website.
So for John and Adam, this is Jason. This has been Traveling with the Mouse, and we hope to see you on our next trip.
Our next acid trip.